No.
Are live.
Welcome to the Undercard Supercast for June 3rd, year 2014. I'm your host, founder, editor, and current stander on Old Man Popovich's lawn of Undercard Superstar, Luke Irwin. Joining me tonight, I'm awaiting the day where he finally travels to Ireland. They won't accept him, and he's stuck living in an airport for 20 years like that Tom Hanks movie. Fresh back from the Galapagos, and you don't want to know where he smuggled all those turtle shells. Earl Montclair. Next to him, prospective Malkikawa intern, Josh Hall. And lastly, he's here to eat domino.
Jesus Christ.
Lastly, he's here to eat dominoes and troll you, and he's all out of Cinestics. Taylor Engel. Dateline Snoozeville, where the UFC hosted both of their cards over the weekend, but let's try to sift through those and the other goings-on in the fight world, and let's dole out our awards, shall we? In honor of one of the most lavish entrances in some time, who takes your golden double-decker bus? And who takes home the awful, the deplorable, the disgusting, the intriguing golden poop? Connor?
I want to give the golden double-decker bus, and I'm going to ruin this for everyone. I feel Carl Froch. I hope I mispronounced his name.
Froch.
Froch.
It's close enough. Don't get into it. That's good for Connor.
Yeah, I know. I think that was pretty good. I was reading differently.
I'm proud of you, Connor.
Thank you. I need that. Got to win some here and there. The KO was beautiful. The fight was fun. There's so much I want to say positive about it. I mean, the stadium was packed. It was just awesome fight. If there's one fight this weekend, that should be the only fight you watch. Like, if there's one fight you're going to pick, it should be that one. And my golden poop, God, there's so many contenders for this one. I want to go ahead and give my golden poop, because I know someone's going to say this, so I'll say that for later. I want to give my golden poop to... I want to give it to the UFC, not necessarily for both the events, but for having Fabio Maldonado get thrown in literally under a bus and taking a hit. His tough guy, till he dies kind of appearance is taking a hit with that 35-second TKO. I mean, albeit at heavyweight, but it took a really bad hit. And Miocic didn't really get anything positive out of it besides a payday. So I want to give them the golden poop for that.
Earl, I know you've been out of action for a couple weeks. Been going to the Isle of Man. So if you want to chip in with anything, feel free. If not, you're free to just contribute whatever you like. Maybe some spry comments.
Well, I've got a few spry things to say, which is that I found out how fun it is to get stung by jellyfish while I was in the islands.
Did your wife pee on you?
No, not then.
Was it related to... Okay.
That is the only right answer.
Shit.
You set him up for that one, Luke.
Torpedoed me.
It was I just got stung a lot on my shoulders and my arms and my chest and stuff. So for me to pee on it myself would have taken some acrobatics that I wasn't really prepared for on the high seas. And
cold water.
Yeah, I'm not about to ruin everybody else's time in the jellyfish by soiling the ocean with my own pee. So it was great. I had a great time in the trip, and I feel bad that I kind of missed the apparent shellacking that TJ Dillashaw put on Renan Barao. I know I'm dating us back, but holy crap, I read about it, and good lord, that was unexpected. But to hear that Fabio Maldonado got trucked is to be expected. It should have never happened at all. There's really no excuse for it. I'm sure you guys have discussed it, and there's really just no explanation for that thing. And what happened is exactly what happened. But hopefully, got a couple extra bucks for coming in and saving the day.
Indeed. Yeah, man, that the Barao fight was just it wasn't even like a flash upset, dude. It was pillar to post. It was unbelievable. It was not
Corral
only
wasn't there for the last 4 rounds of the fight. I mean, his corner said as much.
that was just a hellish ass kicking. That was pretty much the biggest thing you probably missed out on. Yeah, goes to show where we are in the world of MMA. Josh,
Golden double-decker bus. I mean, it's hard to give it to anybody but Froch just because that knockout was just amazing. I mean, there's really saying anything less is underselling it. And I mean, he crow-copped him. His leg was bent underneath his knee, and it was just vicious to see. But I'll throw a little secondary nod in to Nicholas Walters for the left hook that he landed on Vic Darchinyan that was just, God, looked like he was going to knock his head off his shoulders. And Golden Poop, I think it's a pretty easy one this week, actually. It's got to go to the referee of the Donaire Vacheca fight, Luis Pabon. Because just everything that happened in this fight was wrong and looked corrupt, even if it wasn't. It was just so bad. I mean, you had the cut. There was no declaration from the referee whether it was from a legal strike or a headbutt. So you've got, Donaire doesn't know whether he's about to be stopped and TKO'd. And then the fight gets stopped 1 second into the 5th round, so you end up with rounds being scored, a 49-46 score in a fight that went 4 rounds in a second. Everything about it was just awful, and that referee has no business in a big fight ever again.
and also, the cut wasn't any worse in round 4 than it was in round 1 or 2.
No,
but
they dragged it out to get to where it could go to the decision.
Yeah,
that technical decision is ugh.
Because if it was anything before those 4 rounds, it would have been
Right.
ruled a no contest. And so Nonito gets his title in an Asian country.
But I appreciate that Nonito had the stones just to absolutely cry it down, too, and say he wants a rematch also, because that's the right thing to do.
I think we can all agree that Froch was the hero, so like I said, I'll have to go off base a little bit too. And I will give my Golden Decker bus to Sam Solomon. A relatively unknown boxer, 45-11, not a spectacular mark, but he's had a couple cracks at a world title, never won one, and so at the age of 40, after a 17-year career, finally did it, beat Felix Sturm in Germany for the IBF middleweight championship of this world. So kudos to Sam Solomon, and also a fresh face in the middleweight division. Now, albeit it probably won't be for much longer because he is 40, but good shake-up. Also, a supplemental Golden Double-Decker bus to the sport of boxing. 80,000 people plus in Wembley Stadium. Boxing is dead.
I heard Froch made $14 million for the fight. Is that accurate? Because that's pretty impressive if so.
You may. Yeah.
I mean, you can sell out an 80,000 gate. I mean, that's saying something.
It's so. I mean, boxing is really riding a nice wave right now. So let's hope it keeps on keeping on. But something that may hurt that Golden Poop, not for necessarily for anything that he did, but the situation that he finds himself is Oscar De La Hoya. Over the weekend, Richard Schaefer, who has been the CEO for Golden Boy Promotions for the last 10+ years, resigned. And sources and rumors are saying that he's going to form up with. It's going to be an Al Heyman, who is a super agent, a super agent advisor in boxing, and Mayweather Promotions and Schaefer are going to come together to kind of form their own promotion. And someone likened it. I wish I knew who it was so I could give credit, but somebody tweeted Scott Christ and said, now Oscar running Golden Boy is going to be like Billy Madison's first day at middle school. Because Oscar, while it's impressive for what he's done for Golden Boy, he's a figurehead, where Richard Schaefer has been the man with his fingers in the dirt every day for 10 years. So that's really going to hurt Golden Boy. I'm sure there are going to be a lot of Golden Boy fighters that either go to Top Rank or to Mayweather now. So it's going to be a little tricky to see how De La Hoya and company rebound. So Golden Poop for them. And also, he did kind of push Schaefer out the door. They had been feuding for a long time. So, golden poop to Oscar De La Hoya.
The fun part about being last is that I get to clean up everything that everybody else didn't mention. So, seeing as all the big ones are gone, I'm going to share my golden double-decker bus amongst 4 fighters. Primarily being Gegard Mousasi, looked phenomenal against Mark Munoz. Mark Munoz had one of his Mark Munoz losses where he gets absolutely throttled. Mousasi looked like the Mousasi that I thought could beat Anderson Silva 5 years ago. So,
how hard is it to believe that he had never been submitted before, Munoz? As easy as Mousasi made that look.
Yeah.
Stunning.
That's just that's remarkable.
So yeah, shout out to Mousasi for looking like a killer in that fight. Ben Askren, he had a fight against a guy. So good job on beating that
guy. Did you see that fight, TC? That guy took him down, and then
no, I did not see it, but I do know that the guy's last name has the word ass in it. So I'm a big fan of him.
He actually legit took Askren down as soon as the bell rang. Just put him flat on his back, and Askren actually worked off his back to come back and win.
Oh, now that should have watched that. And then
I like Askren.
Badr Hari, kind of under the radar. Most people didn't even know he was involved in the tournament this weekend, but he took out 2, big names, if nothing else, in Peter Graham and Stefan Liko. So good on him for doing that. And last of all goes to Yuri Alcantara. He looked really sharp. I finally watched the Berlin card kind of late last night, and he looked phenomenal. I thought he looked really good. Came back really strong from getting beaten down by Uriah Faber, and I think he's cemented himself as probably a top 10 bantamweight at this point because, who's in the top 10 right now? Eddie Wineland? I think he could beat up
Mike
Eddie
Easton?
Wineland right now. I think that'd be a great fight, actually.
Hey, put him up against Mike Easton, please. Please.
And my golden poop of the day is going to go to... I know I didn't see the Berlin card live, so I was kind of talking to the guys after I got back from work on Saturday, asking them, what happened and whatnot, and everybody said, when I asked about the Luke Barnott fight, they said, oh, well, Luke Barnott lost, it was a close decision, people are calling it a robbery, but whatever, I don't think it was that bad. I watched it, and that was... I thought a terrible decision.
It's a terrible decision and a terrible fight. So that's why there's not a big stink about it, because the fight was so bad that people don't care enough to take Barnett's case.
That was if you go to MMADecisions.com, check that fight. Not a single media member scored that for Sean Strickland. Not that Barnett looked amazing, but he absolutely did enough to win that fight. He absolutely should not have lost his undefeated record. In quotation marks due to tough, but yeah, so definitely golden poop goes to the judging in that fight. That was atrocious.
Dateline Sao Paulo, Brazil, where the Ultimate Fighter finale was held and where Wanderlei Silva was drinking at a local watering hole. This shit has gone to shit, as they say. What do you make of the mess with Wanderlei right now, Connor?
Man, oh my god. For anyone who hasn't seen the video he released after he was pulled from the fight against Chael Sonnen, he claims it's all a big misunderstanding, that this government agent...
Actually, Connor, I believe it's a big misunderstand.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Big misunderstand. And,
Wanderlei has an excuse.
I'm so sorry, you guys. But goddamn, that was beautiful.
Oh, God.
But he says, guy didn't show him any identification, told him to fill out these papers. And so this legendary fighter who has fought in Nevada before doesn't immediately call up his lawyer and say, hey, there's some dude saying I need to sign these papers to get this fight. No, he says, all right, whatever, leaves the gym, and then goes to fucking Brazil. Okay. No. That's not how that works. And then to him to say it's a big misunderstanding and that it'll get all cleared up, dude, you've taken too many hits to the head. Just retire. Like, that's my take on Wanderlei. As for everything else, if Vitor can get, if he can get licensed after his failed test, then yeah, sure, why not? I'd love to see something terrible happen in the cage again.
Josh, Earl, have you been keeping up with any of that?
No, so Wanderlei and Chael fight's not happening?
It's now Chael
It's Chael Vitor.
at middleweight.
Is it for real?
Yeah.
It absolutely
But
is.
Chael says he doesn't think he can make 185, so I think that it's going to end up at 205.
Yeah,
Well,
and
I mean-
Chael's contract is 205,
205,
and he said he doesn't think he can make 185 at this point.
Well, then you know, all right.
But the problem is Rogan's reporting that Vitor failed his random drug test in
I
February.
did see that.
Which means that
Yeah.
if that's correct,
Josh, you can just keep on rolling into your piece here.
what's that?
So you can just keep rolling into your piece here.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that
Your opinion.
Chael's doing, just whatever's necessary, I think, right now, because he's just kind of caught in the position of he has no idea who he's fighting. Vitor may not be cleared. Chael's actually talking about he thinks he's going to end up fighting Anthony Johnson on the card because he's waiting for Little Dog to give him the call that he's hurt again. So Chael says he's partially preparing for Anthony Johnson right now and expecting that to happen last minute. So
my
this whole
God.
situation is just pure insanity, and it's pretty much what MMA deserves, to be honest.
It's a bad situation, and more it's looking like, when Chael first said, Wanderlei was running from his drug test, we're all like, all right, Chael, whatever, wank, wank, wank.
For all the shit the man talked,
I
he was
mean,
not wrong.
like, Chael might be an asshole, but he seldom is wrong when it comes to matters like this of actually getting to the truth and the heart of the matter.
Walter Sobchak-esque.
Yeah, exactly. Chael is when he actually says something, he's usually on the money about that person. And more, when he talks about how every Pride fighter was, juiced to the gills, god damn, I mean, yee. It's there's enough there to go on.
Hard to not at least give it some credence, as sad as that is. I don't think all of them were, but it's just
After
so
the Wrecking
sketchy.
Machine got released, statements from Mark Coleman, Ken Shamrock, Phil Baroni, after they all said shit like that.
Yeah,
Don Fry even came
Phil
out.
Baroni, that's where I'd go for the truth. But,
Yeah, but Baroni's pretty open about he thinks that fighters should be able to use steroids, so he's pretty. He's actually pretty knowledgeable on the topic, as far as Phil Baroni ever goes on a topic.
I
right.
think
Yeah.
Mark Kerr's brain is so damaged he's incapable of lying. Like an infant. I mean, the more that comes out, it doesn't look good for Wanderlei. He didn't go to the finale to watch his team. He was at a bar, and I know the UFC said they weren't going to do PR with him, but that doesn't mean he's not allowed to attend the show. And that's not saying that
Dana
he's
say
not allowed.
he's out though? The other day, didn't he say that Wanderlei's done?
No.
He said he's in a bad spot. But also, it doesn't mean you can't go to the show. It doesn't mean that you can't answer questions independently. They just said they weren't going to have him up at at their dais at their table with them. So that was, And meanwhile, Wanderlei's name gets booed in Brazil and Chael gets cheered. Like, that is not a good
The funny thing is, Chael's pissed about that because Chael's like, "No, I'm not the face. What is this shit?"
One more for the bad guy.
So it's not looking good, and like I said, there's a lot to dislike about Chael. I tend to love the hell out of the guy, but when it's time to ring the bell, he'll be there waiting, cleared, ready to go, and whoever you want to fight, he'll pretty much be ready to go. Taylor?
Well, he'll be there. He won't be ready.
Well, I mean, he'll probably lose, but goddamn, if he'll be.
He will be in attendance.
He will sign on the line which is dotted.
He has kind of become, like, in a way, he's like 2012 to 2014 Rich Franklin in terms of company man status at this point.
Yeah.
And
Except he made them a lot more money than Franklin.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Rich, who's now the vice president of ONE
Rich
FC.
Franklin might have made money other ways from other men.
Taylor, you're a big Wanderlei Silva guy, obviously. Does this set you back a little bit?
I still don't know what to make of it. I don't know what is going on. I don't understand why Wanderlei all of a sudden, well, maybe not all of a sudden, but all of a sudden is, being exposed for kind of being a huge asshole. Like, I'm pretty thrilled that Chael Vitor's happening because Chael Wanderlei, as fun as it is to watch, one of my idols growing up fight, the best talker in the business, like it was an absolute squash match. I didn't like it. It would have been fun to see them, but I wouldn't have really cared about the fight. Whereas now, we get a legit contender if he's clean, which is possible.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
I'm really fucking mad about this, you guys. The more this goes, I'm so fucking mad. Like, I was so determined going into this whole nonsense about going to 4th of July weekend that I was like, I'm not going to fucking go if the main event is Weidman and Belfort. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to give that fucking foot-licking asshat my money. Like, I'm not going to do it. And
we're going to end up with the greatness of Chael versus Rumble. That's
fine. That's going to be fine. Because if I go down there and I have to see Vitor Belfort do anything, I'm going to be a very sad panda.
What if it's Vitor Belfort going to sleep, though? I mean, that's...
Dude, you aren't even a
if he fights Chael?
There's a chance!
Right. No, yeah, for sure.
Like if he passes out or something.
There's a chance if Chael in between the rounds he like Mr. Fuji throws some salt in Mario Yamasaki's eyes or something, and Chael sets up a steel chair in the corner, and then when Vitor charges at him, he does a drop toe hold, and he KOs himself on the chair.
Dude,
and
Seth
Chael
Rollins
should absolutely just bring some pocket sand. He should just stuff sand in his pockets and throw it in Vitor's eyes throughout the fight.
God, dude. Okay, now I'm into it. Now I'm good.
Imagine just reaching into the pocket, just doink, doink, doink.
Like no.
The UFC promotional team could be taking notes right now.
What? Oh, here it goes.
The sellability of this fight.
The UFC gets a hold of the hologram people. They bring back hologram Paul Bear, and he opens up the urn, and the light comes out of the urn for Vitor, and he's hypnotized by it, and he's.
And from the urn comes a syringe of TRT that he injects straight into his veins, and then he kicks Chael's head into the 4th row.
He's watching the TRT just evaporate up to the heavens in a green mist.
It's just a
powers are useless, Vitor Belfort.
It's just a mist of bright lights and fucking needles.
Dateline Las Vegas, Nevada, headquarters of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, where contract negotiations are not going swimmingly for Jon Jones' next fight.
Amazing.
With Dana White flip-flopping on the reasons therein. First it was about the length and money on his contract. Now he says it's about Jones' opponent. Is Jon being reasonable here? Is the UFC being reasonable? What do you think shakes out, Connor?
Okay, so I don't want to pull a Subo, so let me try and do this right, guys.
Oh, do it. Go for it. Just let it happen.
I mean, if you have to be an insufferable troll, do it. But if you don't have to, you don't have to.
You have a red beard.
Insufferable troll.
I think it's kind of a fuck up on everyone's part. UFC, preemptively called Jones versus Gus at that August date, right?
Something I like to do.
Something like that, in an attempt to kind of strong arm Jones into signing on the dotted line. But Jones, first off was like, "Oh, I want more money," and then said, "No, I just want to fight Dan Cormier." And then he's trolling Cormier. He's from Louisiana, you
What on
bastard.
earth is happening right now? I go on vacation for 3 goddamn weeks and Connor can pronounce names. What the shit is going on?
Connor thinks he's French now, too. He just got a fleur-de-lis tattooed.
Oh,
He
wow,
thinks
sweet.
that's
Right on your
right.
calf?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Just like GSP.
Damn it. I hate you people.
YTC, did you do that?
I certainly did that.
Shut up, you did not.
I did get a Monroe while you were gone.
Sorry,
So there's
Connor.
that.
I'm sorry.
So
Anyways, Connor, carry on. Well, what do you
Broken.
think about this matter?
All right, Josh.
Earl, you got the input?
Oh yeah, no, plenty.
I don't want to miss this. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, really, like, when it comes, like, I mean, fucking whatever, man. I saw an interview that came out, too, because I know you said it was about the length of the contract. I heard them talking about that it was the girth of the contract, okay?
It's really what matters.
Either way, the fact is that, like, if John needs more money to buy new Bentleys or new striped kitty cats or whatever he needs to do, or have
Lying, bro.
pay somebody to manage his goddamn social media accounts for him, something,
Hacked,
anything.
bro.
Did you see the awful thing that somebody hacked his Instagram earlier and posted a video?
Somebody hacked his Instagram again?
No, it was Jones himself posting a video.
Oh, damn it.
Yes. But he deleted it like 3 minutes later because...
I mean, I think what it is he does it. He might still be running off of Netscape, and if he's still running those AOL 7.0 1,000 hours free CDs, those things aren't really going to give you the security that you need from like a Norton system cheap plug.
So
But,
he's in Ben's driveway.
yeah, he's really bad at kind of all of these things other than fighting. So my opinion really is that to kind of hang out when he fights and then just kind of avoid him at all costs everywhere else. But I mean, if he fights Gus or he fights Cormier, I'm gonna watch. I don't give a shit. Just pick one.
Connor, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, you know what? Jones kind of draws, so throw him money, give him DC, and let Gus fight one more time against another top 10 light heavyweight. Throw him.
That's pretty harsh. Gus having to win 2 fights after losing a controversial decision to get another shot.
The thing is I called for an immediate rematch, and everyone kind of shot me down.
Didn't you name one of those guys fighter of the year?
Hey,
possibly.
I did.
Was it Jones?
Why would it be Jones? You know me. Why would it be Jones?
Yes.
Go on.
So, anyways, I don't want to see Gustafsson against Teixeira because fuck it, why not?
Connor did have Jones as his 5/8 fighter of the year.
Right.
Oh.
Josh?
My dear Lord.
Oh, Lord. I actually really liked Jones's
See, Ben, in
Instagram
slavery
video.
times. Oh, sorry. Okay, go ahead.
I really like Jones's Instagram video, his response, because it was actually seemed like sincere Jon Jones for a brief.
Now for those who didn't get a chance, to see it before it was taken down, summarize it up.
He basically went on there and said, pretty much everyone who's calling me a coward, I'm calling out, an incredible wrestler with an Olympic pedigree. If that makes me a coward, don't worry about it. It's not your career. That's just paraphrasing, but that's the gist of it. But he said it in the most smug way possible, in the way only Jon Jones can do it.
It's a real hot take.
But
it
was really a perfect response to it, though, because it's not like he's calling out a guy who's not a threat by any means. I mean, if he doesn't view Cormier as a threat, he's probably making a mistake because he's shown the ability to throw virtually anyone on their heads at will.
Yeah, he should have called out. He should have challenged a real fighter like Chael Sonnen or Vitor Belfort and those other notorious 205-pounders that he's been running through as of late.
I mean, I don't know why he didn't call out Fabian Maldonado. He just main evented a UFC card.
Damn
Joe,
straight.
Heavyweight.
Many pies.
Exactly. That could be his foray up to heavyweight. He fights Fabian Maldonado at like 220.
Listen, John, I don't think it's under much. I don't think I'm really under much controversy to say that Jones is pretty much just an ass. He's pretty much just a dick. And Dana's the same way. They deserve each other. I hope these two ass bags get lost in negotiations for 10 years. Jones has the right to fight. It's all. I'm not gonna say all he needs to do is fight. Do all you need to do is fight. And people who say that Jones aren't scared, you're missing the point. Is Jones scared of getting hurt or getting beat up or having a boo boo owie? No. Is he scared of losing? Probably. And he obviously thinks that Gustafsson would give him a lot more trouble. Even Cormier is calling out Jones for ducking Gustafsson, and he's the one that has a title shot at his if he wants it.
Well, if Jones wouldn't have told him to go win one more fight and then we'll rematch, and then he wins one more fight and then Jones says, let's not rematch. He's the one who set those parameters in the first place when he didn't want the immediate rematch. So that's just back talking.
And then on top of that, he told Cormier that he wouldn't deserve a title shot even with a win over Hendo before.
That too.
It's a bad look for Jones, and the UFC is handling it poorly, shockingly. I am glad to see the UFC's fucking bully tactics finally, take an elbow to the nose. But I wish it was anybody other than the smuggest man who ever walked that was admitting it.
No, but if Jones is using this just as a ploy for contract negotiations, I really don't have a problem with that if the fight actually happens. If he's using that as leverage, then there's not very many people that have leverage over the UFC, and the few that do, I'd like to see them wield it a little more often.
Now, Floyd has been doing this kind of stuff for years. Now, I do believe Floyd genuinely ducked Manny when Manny was in his prime. But Floyd always does this. He plays around, and then he inevitably fights who he's supposed to fight.
Amir Khan, bro.
Luke said a lot of what I wanted to say. In no way is Jon Jones as a man scared of Alexander Gustafsson as a man. I think he's just scared that Alexander Gustafsson could and as we saw, he could easily beat Jon Jones on any given night, and he's scared of losing that. I don't know if you'd call it legacy, but you might as well. He's probably the best light heavyweight in the history of MMA at this point. So I think he's genuinely scared of that, and I have no issues with him strong-arming the UFC because that's what they've been doing to fighters for years. As far as the Instagram thing goes, more power to him. I think he's finally realizing that he's an unlikable twat, so might as well play it up. He's just a more relevant Luke Thomas in the way that he's just a smug asshole all the time. So more power to you, dude.
I want to see Jon Jones and Donald Sterling have a weekly talk show for guys who really should just shut the fuck up and not talk anymore. Just wheel you to the ring in a fucking mask like Hannibal Lecter on a platform.
When Jon Jones sent out those Instagrams, I went and prayed for him.
And when he had those
Instagrams, he had those Twitters and those Instagrams and those cars crashes Bentleys.
Listen, he went out and he made love to all the pictures of himself, and that's how we got those Instagrams.
Sometimes these things happen in MMA.
Yeah, basically, I don't care if Jon Jones does that shit. I just wish he wouldn't broadcast it. Why do you have to broadcast it?
Because he's Jon Jones.
Because
as a quick side take, and you talked about TC was talking about how Munoz lost and looked awful. Is there anybody in combat sports who loses harder than Mark Munoz? Maybe TJ Wolfberger?
Jonathan Goulet. That man was insta-KO every time he stepped in the UFC. It was incredible.
The thing about Goulet is that he just had a weak chin, and Waldberger tries to, has a weak chin, and he tries to brawl when he's not really
Waldberger Amagov is one of the most uncomfortable things I've ever seen in real life.
But the thing about Munoz is he's losing in new and creative ways, and he looks awful every single time.
Then he rips off an incredible armbar out of nowhere, and then everybody remembers that, and then he gets knocked out 4 times.
Then he gets put down. Then he gets put down without landing a significant strike.
Yeah, I mean he did that against Weidman, and now he's doing it. He did it against Mousasi. And now the other thing too is
Cheetah,
I think about late. When I see people get put down so savagely like that, I think about late career Marcus Davis is
oh yeah.
Just
Connor's countryman.
Like, I feel like I just talked. Like, that reaction was like I just talked about a dead person, and it's almost like I did, because it's like, I mean, seeing the way like guys like, you know,
Nate Diaz,
Ben Saunders, like those guys that put just like just seriously uncalled for beatings on that dude. It's awful to watch that shit.
Dude, Ben Saunders is actually another guy who kind of falls in that category. When he
Yeah,
loses,
you're right.
man, he loses some excruciatingly painful, like, I'm afraid for him when the fight ends moments.
Lima.
Or Joe Warren, though. We got to throw Joe Warren's name
Oh,
out there.
Joe Warren.
No one loses like Joe Warren.
And Joe Warren, you know, because he doesn't lose any tight decisions because he wins all those. So when you have to really put him out to defeat him. It's like Bendo.
Winning a decision over Joe Warren's like looking for a fucking unicorn.
Not gonna happen, and you can tape an ice cream cone onto a
Or
retarded.
Dan Galvan outside of a closet.
Hey, Dan, have we seen Dan lately? Anyone?
He told us to have a good show.
Yeah, he said he couldn't make it.
All right.
I'm just waiting for R.
Dateline,
Kelly to
still
go
around.
sing to him.
Dateline, New York City, New York. Spike TV headquarters, where they'll be debuting a new show soon. Piggybacking on the success of Bar Rescue, one of the greatest shows in television history.
God damn
Oh
it.
wait.
Spike is launching Gym Rescue with hosts Frank Shamrock and Randy Couture. Connor, will you watch Gym Rescue?
It's kind of sad because I actually dig most of those dude bro kind of reality television shows.
Would.
Like I like Bar Rescue, I'll watch it. I love Tattoo Master, and I love.
We have found
Season
the Spike
Master.
TV demographic, ladies and gentlemen.
Connor's gotta go.
Why are you flicking me off? You just reeled off all the Spike shows you watch.
After the podcast, Connor has to go kick in $800 for the Blue Mountain State movie.
Oh
Dude,
yeah,
I fucking hate
Kickstarter.
Blue
Holy. Good on you.
The sad thing though is I won't actually be able to watch the television show because I don't have a television. How do you say service provider anymore?
You spent
So-
all of it on Xbox.
You have a computer.
right?
You're right, I do. So if they stream it, I'll
I'm
watch
sure
it.
that
But
Spike's website will have them all for you.
I'm sure there's no
Enjoy.
other way to watch it.
legally,
I'm trying to give him the legal means because I know he won't watch it otherwise.
I think that
My bunny ears are on the fritz, and
I think about when Unmarried with Children, when Al Bundy and they were gonna have to go into Fox viewing positions, and they all had to go around the living room holding rabbit ears and tinfoil.
With the tinfoil.
Yep.
We're dating ourselves there.
Sorry.
No,
You see, kids. Married with Children.
it was classic. But yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. I just like, I don't know. Randy Couture kind of got busy and his own gym went to shit, so I don't know why.
That's because Kim was knocking everybody out.
going all Hector Lombard on the new guys.
Trucking Wanderlei.
Didn't she?
That's why
open her
Wanderlei's
own
so
gym?
crazy in the bar.
I believe she started her own gym now because she's
Tremendous.
certainly the most qualified
Is
person.
it in
to teach
Vegas?
MMA.
Because I totally want to go for a day.
Oh God, I hope it's not in Vegas. 'Cause I know that.
Probably in Vegas.
DC, are you down to go train a day with me at Kim Couture's MMA
Dude,
gym?
I'm a Muay Thai master. I'll knock her out.
The sad
Yeah, but
ladies and
I
gentlemen,
still think
DC's not joking.
Ronda could beat you though.
Ben Cohn could knock her out with his jujitsu. Earl, will you be watching Gym Rescue?
Yeah, no. I mean, I probably not. I mean, if it shows up on the Soup, I'll watch it, and but that'll probably be the extent of that. It's on Spike TV, which is problematic because I don't know what channel it is on my television provider. I assume it's at like the very high channels, kind of like college radio at the low end of the dial. So I don't really know where it is, but I suppose I'm not going to seek
He's
it
on
out.
a dial?
Yeah, I have one of these old TVs in the West Coast.
Hit the clicker.
You see, with Manifest Destiny kind of taking a slow process, it takes a while for technology to get out here to the West Coast. So I have to wait. But when it comes to I'm not going to watch that monkey shit. Fuck that. Whatever.
Josh, can they count on you as a viewer?
Oh, fuck no.
Damn it, Josh.
Bar Rescue is if that's what it's being piggybacked off of, oh, for the love of God, no. The last thing the world needs is more of that. And with Randy, I mean, I love Randy Couture. Like, he was one of my heroes in MMA coming up in the sport. But that man's gym went to absolute shit. So if he's coming in to save your gym, you're probably in a lot of fucking trouble.
What if they modeled it after other shows that I assume are on Spike TV, like those towing shows? Like, gym towing.
Dude, they do have
They come in and tow out somebody's octagon.
Like, they come in and they hook up the thing that scoops up your car real quick and you drive off. They just break the walls down like the Kool-Aid Man, scoop your octagon up with the thing, and just drive out of the fucking place.
Okay, see, that you might have a taker in me.
Dude,
But extreme towed.
wait, guys. The towing show that's on Spike TV, though, is like you
Lizard
get your
Lake?
car towed, but only if you can't answer 5 questions. Like, it's like
So
a
it's
question.
Perfect for MMA.
So it's like, man.
You know that it's always getting towed.
Oh, dude, yeah, everybody's getting
If
towed.
you're on Gym Rescue, you know goddamn well they can't answer 5 questions about anything.
Because they're going to be like, damn it, man, I just put that tap-out sticker on the back windshield. Fuck.
Okay, gentlemen, at what age is it no longer acceptable to get adult braces? At what age do you say fuck it and just let it ride?
Are you married? I really think it's if you're married.
Yeah.
Like if you're like so much of like a rock biter that you're having problems with like getting a female, then it's time, you know, at whatever age. I say if you need to put braces on your fucking dentures, man, you do that shit. But if you're married, you've been accepted. It's time to let yourself go and let your teeth stay, dude.
Are you saying you're getting braces?
No, I'm saying yeah.
You're not going to. You're gonna let it ride.
I had braces, dude.
I am a Bar Rescue fanatic. I love the show almost as much as Nolan Howell's mother, but I will never watch Gym Rescue. I do not need Randy Couture and Frank Shamrock telling me how to live my life.
We should put John Taffer to it.
Oh, John Taffer can tell me to burn my mother at the stake, and I'll do it.
What do you have more of a problem with? A man Randy Couture? What do you have more of a
Mark.
What do you guys have more of a problem with? You're as old as Frank Shamrock and you have braces, or you're as old as Randy Couture and you get your first fucking bro tattoo on your forearm? Like, what is less acceptable?
Well, seeing as my father has a bro tattoo on his forearm that he got last year, I'm going to go with that one.
I didn't realize I was going to hit so close to home, dude. I'm apologizing.
Yeah, that was really personal, dude, and quite frankly, I'm hurt.
Very, very awkward now. Taylor, Gym Rescue?
No.
You like things that are bad?
No.
All right. Bitline, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Fight night card this weekend with one of the strangest main events in recent memory. Let's get a quick previewing. I will run down the card. We'll just do the main card for this one here. I will run it down and just left to right, give me a winner and a method and round. So we'll start from the opener on the Fox Sports 1 main card. Eric Perez versus Brian Caraway.
Ugh.
That means the answer is Brian Caraway. You don't want to say it.
Brian Caraway, UD 29-28 decision after he coasts in the third.
Boom.
A UD decision, all right.
the elusive UD decision.
Hey,
Hot takes left and right, fellas.
I'm gonna go with I hate to cheer for Team Cupcake for anything, and I won't be, but it's gonna be Caraway to decision or late submission.
Josh.
Caraway, second round submission.
I have Caraway by submission.
Perez TKO first
That
one.
boy.
Somebody had to be a man around here.
In the lightweight division, Peter Hallman against Eve Edwards.
oh, my boy, Eve Edwards.
Are you?
Yeah, if you think I'm picking against
Did you
Eve
just call
Edwards,
him Boy Connor?
Yes, I did.
Oh, God.
Add
I'm,
some at the end of that, and
I'm saying-
we'll be talking.
I'm saying Eve Edwards is gonna really do bad things to Hallman.
Makes me sad, but Hallman,
Damn you.
second round knockout.
Edwards by decision, I believe.
Hallman by internal bleeding. Is that a finish?
It is now.
If somebody does like a really violent oil check during the fight, there might be an issue with
Dude,
that.
I'm into that.
Oh,
Medic.
as a former wrestler, we
Josh,
don't
please
talk
talk about
about that.
homophobia.
I'm in favor of it. Listen, if it's between two consenting adults, they can do all the oil checking they feel. hashtag libertarian. In the lightweight division, Jason High against Rafael Dos Anjos.
Rafael Dos Anjos.
Yeah,
By
Dos
easy
Anjos.
decision.
Yeah.
Dos Anjos.
I can't keep picking against every single fighter I like on the card, so fuck it. I'm going to say High for no reason whatsoever.
That will not end well for you.
No, it won't.
Dos Anjos via decision.
The guy that isn't pals with Matt Roth by decision.
That's fair in any walk of life.
So that doesn't really narrow it down.
No.
In the flyweight division, John Dodson versus John Moraga.
Yeah.
Oh man, Dodson via fucking soul-shattering knockout.
Shattering.
Soul-shattering knockout.
Yeah, Dodson's gonna kick the crap out of him, dude. Dodson.
Pain. Lots of pain. Dodson by KO.
Dodson by KO.
Dodson by KO.
In the lightweight division, Diego Sanchez against Ross Pearson.
Yeah.
We all know what's coming.
Diego Sanchez via decision.
All right. Well, here, in reality, it'll be Ross Pearson by decision, where Diego Sanchez gets thoroughly outclassed again and gets touted as this glorious warrior who, quite frankly, has no fucking business being in a UFC cage.
Diego's going to absorb approximately 600 significant strikes and win a 30-27, 30-27, 26-30 split.
Enough is enough, and it's time for a change. Ross Pearson by split decision.
Owen Hart in your goddamn face.
All over it.
Yeah, Ross Pearson is gonna win that fight by a knockout, a clean knockout.
He's gonna knock the man out.
His brain is going
Diego
to be
Sanchez
temporarily
fights
shut off.
vampires. You can't knock him out.
You could absolutely
Knock him
knock
by
him out.
cuts.
I don't think you understand how human bodies work. You could absolutely knock him out.
I don't think you understand how Diego's body works.
All right.
Bonus fight pick. Bonus in the biggest fight of the weekend. Miguel Cotto or Sergio Martinez for Sergio's middleweight championship.
Wait, I don't want to seem too annoyed or anything, but isn't Bindo fighting Hobolov?
I guess we
this
can
was
talk
last
about
weekend.
that too.
It's a bonus fight.
All right, let's get to Bendo and Hobbylov because
It's a way better main event than we had on either of them this weekend.
Yeah, so let's please
no,
over that shit.
Bendo fighting makes me nauseous.
He's like the nicest guy in the UFC.
I love him.
Connor.
I want to go with Hobolov on this one, despite how much I love Bindo.
I'm good. Sorry, Connor.
Via a submission after a thorough clinch domination. Yeah.
All right.
Wow,
Jesus.
that's a bold pick.
That is bold. You were the bold pick, man.
The hottest takes of them all.
I do this every time Benson fights, and I always pay for it. But I'm gonna do it again anyways because eventually I'm gonna be right, and it's gonna be so sweet.
you're not.
Josh already knows what I'm doing.
No, you're not.
As Josh being a teammate of mine and picking fights, he knows what I'm gonna do already. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say Benson Henderson by goddamn Can I get an amen guillotine round 3?
Josh?
Benson will absolutely not risk position to go for a guillotine in round 3 or any round.
Standing guillotine.
Benson will find a way to win the grappling, though, and do enough in the feet with his leg jabs and like very, very low leg kicks to win a decision, though. And I think he can outpoint Habilov for 5 rounds. But I mean, this isn't a walk in the park for him by any means.
Benson Henderson, split decision.
Well, Frankie won both fights. I'll go with Benson by dominant unanimous decision, similar to the first Frankie Edgar fight.
Dominant unanimous decision, UD.
Robbed. Okay, and in our bonus awesome fight, Cotto and Martinez.
Let's go with Martinez.
I'm going to go with Martinez, too, and I just noticed, Connor, that, and I mean this in the nicest way I've ever said anything to you, you absolutely look like an extra from Sons of Anarchy right now, and it's fucking beautiful, man.
Well, thank you.
That might be the nicest thing Earl's ever said to Connor.
It's probably the nicest thing I've ever said to any of you guys, so enjoy that.
More or less, yeah.
I will.
Yeah, I've got to go Martinez also. I thought I was actually going to be on the other side of everybody's picks here, but I love Sergio Martinez. He's one of my favorite boxers to ever watch, so Martinez, unanimous decision.
I'm going to go Martinez probably by split decision. I think Cotto's going to land a good amount. I mean, Martinez can get touched.
Oh, yeah.
if a much, much less effective, much more overweight Chavez Jr. can land in. One thing about Martinez is he's too proud to just play it safe. I mean, he'll go for broke while still fending off punches. So I think Cotto will tag him a couple times, but Martinez has an amazing gas tank, and he will just kind of end up putting on a pretty good show. Maybe his last stand, but if that's it, so be it. Sergio Martinez, split decision.
I'm honest, this isn't even me being #contrarian hot take, man. I actually went into this thinking that Cotto would win, and I'm still going to take him. I think he finishes him. We'll go with the 10th.
That sucks. Alas, that will do it for us this week. Thank you for tuning in to the Undercard Supercast. We will see you next week, as we will be doing every Tuesday, 9 p.m. here on the YouTubes. And when he got those YouTubes, I went to church.
I prayed for that man when he got those YouTubes.
I prayed for those YouTubes. Listen, he made love to every live streaming audio service, and he got the YouTubes. What kind of role model is this for you? You know, he acts high and mighty with those YouTubes.
What has he ever done for the YouTubes?
His brother and sister YouTubes, his fellow YouTubes.
Well, that's an impressive wrap to the show, guys. Y'all have a good night.